I, Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States. But there's more to do, and I'm reluctant to walk away from that. I am running, and we're going to win. And I think I'm the best qualified to win. I beat him once, and I will beat him again. When you get knocked down, you get back up.
So Biden's out of the race, but what convinced him to drop out? What changed his mind? Even on Friday, his campaign was motoring on. His advisors said that Biden would stay in the race. But then on Sunday, the big announcement came. So what changed in those 48 hours? Well, Biden was not at the White House this weekend. He was in his hometown, Delaware. He was still recovering from his Wuhan virus symptoms. With him were a handful of supporters, like White House counselor Steve Ricchetti, campaign advisor Mike Donnellan, Deputy Chief of Staff Annie Tomasini, and Jill Biden's advisor Anthony Bernal. They were taking stock of the campaign, and the news wasn't good. Donations were drying up, big names were urging Biden to step down, and Trump was riding high. So on Saturday evening, they looked at some poll numbers. Again, nothing good. Trump was building on his lead in swing states, and that apparently was the final nail in the coffin. Reports say Biden had made up his mind by Saturday night. He had decided to pull out by Saturday night. The next day, on Sunday, he held another round of talks, sort of like a last-minute check. And then he broke the news. Joe Biden first called Vice President Kamala Harris. He informed her of his decision. Then he called his White House Chief of Staff. At around 1:45 p.m. local time, Biden's team was informed of the decision. Around the same time, this letter was posted on X. And just like that, Joe Biden's campaign was over. I guess it was the perfect storm. Recovering from an illness, miles away from the White House and surrounded by family, it probably cleared the president's mind. Maybe helped him see the writing on the wall. It was definitely a weekend that changed U.S. politics. But getting here was tough, a mix of fate, politics, and narratives. This time last month, Biden was the undisputed nominee. He was neck and neck with Donald Trump. But in 25 days, he lost the White House. Let's look at the key events in that time. In April, Joe Biden proposed a televised debate with Trump. Normally, these debates would happen after the convention. But Biden said, let's have it before. In hindsight, that decision burned his campaign. The debate was held on the 27th of June, and Biden's performance was a disaster. He looked weak and tired. His voice was raspy and low, and his sentences often made no sense. That was a wake-up call for Democrats. They realized that Biden's health had deteriorated, so the party rebellion began. At first, it was state leaders and congressmen. None of the bigwigs joined in. They wanted to see where things went. And Joe Biden dug in. He admitted that he wasn't young or energetic, but he vowed to push on.
Folks, let me close with this. I know I'm not a young man. State the obvious. Well, I know. Folks, I don't walk as easy as I used to. I don't speak as smoothly as I used to. I don't debate as well as I used to. But I know what I do know. I know how to tell the truth. I know right from wrong. And I know how to do this job. I know how to get things done.
Biden went into damage control. He started giving more interviews on TV. He also began talking up the NATO summit. Washington hosted this meeting earlier this month, the NATO summit. So all eyes were on Joe Biden. Would the president redeem himself, or would he stumble again? Take a look at what happened.
And now I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. President Putin. We're going to beat President Putin. President Zelensky. I'm so focused on beating Putin, we got to worry about it. Anyway, Mr. President.
I'm better.
You are a hell of a lot better.
Thank you so much. Mr. President.
After that, the floodgates opened. Hollywood actor George Clooney joined the rebellion. He's a top Democratic donor. He asked Biden to step aside. That's when the second key event happened, the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. It sharpened the contrast between the two men. Trump was defiant after the shooting. He got up, he pumped his fist, and he shouted, "Fight." You couldn't imagine Biden doing that. Which brings us to the third key event that turned the tide. The party bigwigs got involved. Among them, two names stand out. First is former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. The second is Barack Obama. Both of them have worked closely with Joe Biden. They're also very popular among voters. Neither of them went public with their views. Instead, they leaked reports to the US media. Obama's comments came last week. He said Biden's path to re-election had diminished. That's the term he used, which brings us to the weekend. This weekend, Biden had just two choices: ignore the rebellion and stay on, or give in to party pressure. The first option, staying on, would have been incredibly risky. Maybe a charismatic candidate could have fought alone, used his own brand to stay in the race, but not Joe Biden. He would have needed party support to take on Donald Trump. Plus, this was his last chance. A loss would have destroyed his legacy. So in the end, Biden made the only decision that made sense. He stepped aside.
Across continents, one powerful news source.
Bringing you diverse perspectives on the issues that matter.
We go beyond the boundaries to give you that little extra about every sporting moment.
So thank you for making Firstpost 5 million strong. We're counting on your support, and you can trust us to bring you the news unfiltered and unvarnished.
Climate change is on our doorstep. It's time for a revolution to take root. And it starts with 1.4 billion Indians. It starts with one tree for humanity, one tree for Mother Earth, one tree for our future. Project One Tree, a News 18 network initiative.
On the show today, the T20 World Cup bandwagon has moved across to the West Indies. What can you expect from this?
Hello, I'm Alison Green, coming to you from Durban, South Africa. Today we have a special show.
Start with a report on India's shifting nuclear posture. For the first time since India officially became a nuclear power.
Hello and welcome